than the vaguely Scandinavian ovals of her Michigan childhood. It was in part to escape a fate wed to a Scandinavian oval that Anna had come to New York. In Ann Arbor, she would have ended up as someone's eccentric, misfit wife. New York offered a chance to be loved for her entire self, or, since the city was filled with single women, a chance to be loveless without shame. In Ann Arbor, she was a spinster. In New York, she was single. At age 32, Anna lived in a one-room apartment on Manhattan's Upper West Side. Her studio was on the 5th floor of a pre-war building erected in the 1920s. From her 2 north-facing windows, she enjoyed a view across rooftops where her neighbors, slightly miniaturized, held barbecues and sunned themselves on tiny rooftop decks. If Anna leaned far out of her fire escape window, she could catch a leafy sliver of Central Park. That was as close to the trees of Ann Arbor as she ever wanted to get again. Like so many other New York transplants, Anna had been a misfit where she came from. With its welcoming anonymity, New York was a mecca for oddballs longing to blend in. Back home in Ann Arbor, she had not blended in. There, in the conventional and conservative Midwest, her interest in the paranormal had branded her an outcast, although her peers regarded her with a wary fascination. Under the careful guidance of a spiritualist teacher, Bernice Murphy, she had honed her skills, but also achieved an unwelcome notoriety. "Teen Ghostbuster helps police," one unfortunate headline had trumpeted. Anna was torn between the thrill of practicing her gifts and her longing to be a teenager amid teenagers. To add to her woes, her twin brother, Alan, seemed to dine out on her escapades. He would initiate conversations with remarks like, "Let me tell you about my weird sister." Indeed, as the weird sister, Anna had been only too glad to escape to New York. If Alan, back in Michigan, asked her about her work, Anna kept it vague. She knew he pictured crystal balls and tilting tables and envisioned her wearing a turban, as many of the storefront psychics along Lower Broadway in fact did. She had long since tired of trying to make her brother understand that to her, ghosts were simply a fact of life. The first time it had happened, Anna was 5 years old. She was staying at her grandmother's house, and she had been tucked into bed early. "Don't let the bed bugs bite," her grandma said, kissing her forehead, smoothing her covers, shutting the door. What bed bugs? Anna wondered, staring at the ceiling where something hazy and bluish seemed to be floating. She squinted, and the shape took on form. It was a woman, with her hair in ringlets around her face, wearing a high-collared dress that was clearly etched, although after the bodice the dress trailed into nothingness. Anna observed the ghost with astonishment. Handkerchief pressed to its lips, it appeared to be viewing her the same way. She should have been scared, but what she felt was curiosity. She watched with fascination to see what would happen next. She knew enough to know it was a ghost, but it didn't seem threatening in any way. It coughed into its lace handkerchief. Anna reached a hand from beneath the covers and extended it over to the night table where her grandmother had left a small bell. "A sick bell for emergencies, or if you need me." Anna rang the bell. The apparition smiled regretfully and started to fade. By the time her grandmother opened the door, it had vanished. As an introduction to the paranormal, it had felt, well, normal. But how would her brother feel if he knew that most Sunday afternoons, as a 30-something adult, she attended a tiny spiritualist church where a die-hard band of 6 to 8 worshippers gathered together and tried to receive messages from the other side? This prospect was made problematic since the church was actually a tiny rented rehearsal hall, mirrored along one wall with a rickety stand-up piano on which the minister, with her minimal piano skills, pecked and pounded out 19th century hymns. The ragged congregation raised its communal voice in scraggly song, but rarely succeeded in drowning out the opera singer who rented a